Hello and welcome to Wise Pages. Today, we are going to explore a book that has the power to change the way you think about your entire life, The Magic of Thinking Big by David J. Schwartz. If you have ever started a new project, thought about a big goal, or even considered a new path, and the very first thing that popped into your head was, "I don't think I can do this," then you need to listen carefully. That single thought of doubt is the beginning of a defeat. But if you can look at that same challenge and say to yourself, "Yes, I can do this," you have just taken the very first step toward victory. Let's talk about the power of belief. This is the central theme that David J. Schwartz emphasizes throughout his book. He says your belief is the first spark that ignites action, and without action, a dream remains just that, a dream. Think about a small child learning to walk. They fall down, they get back up, and they fall down again. Do they stop? No. They keep going because they have a deep, unshakable belief that one day, they will walk. That belief gives them the courage to keep trying. But as we grow up, we allow society, past failures, and the opinions of others to weaken that belief. We start thinking, maybe this isn't for me, or what if I fail? What will people think? This doubt builds an invisible wall that stops us from moving forward. Schwartz says that doubt is like a virus that enters your mind quietly and slowly kills every good thought you have. When you are doubtful about a task, you lose the energy, focus, and confidence needed to complete it. Your steps become hesitant, and you stall. But when you believe, truly believe, with all your heart, you send a signal to your brain that something is possible. And then, your mind begins to find ways to turn that possibility into a reality. Now, you might be thinking, just believing isn't enough to get things done. And you would be right. But that's exactly Schwartz's point. Belief triggers action. When you believe, you try. When you try, you learn. When you learn, you improve. And when you improve, you win. Let's say you have a fear of public speaking. One day, you decide that you want to be able to speak confidently in front of people and that you can learn to do it. Just that decision starts a chain reaction. You start watching online videos, you practice in front of a mirror, you start speaking in small groups, and gradually, you become a confident speaker. But if you had thought on day one, "I can't do this," you would have never even started. That is the difference between belief and doubt. Schwartz also observed that successful people are not necessarily more intelligent or more talented than average people. The difference is simply in their mindset. Those who succeed believe they deserve success. When a person believes they can achieve something great, they stay motivated to take on big challenges. They don't see barriers as excuses, they see them as obstacles to break through. They don't see failure as a reason to give up, they see it as a stepping stone. Belief works like an emotional engine. When you believe, a burning desire is created inside you. That desire forces you to get up in the morning, it doesn't let you get tired, and it gives you the courage to get up every time you fall. Schwartz asks a powerful question: if you don't believe in yourself, why should anyone else? Believing in yourself is your first and most important investment. Now, this belief isn't a magic trick. You can't just think it today and have everything be perfect tomorrow. In the beginning, you might feel like your confidence is fake, and you will still feel fear. But facing that fear is what belief is all about. The more you believe, the more you act. And the more you act, the stronger your belief becomes. It's a positive loop: belief leads to action, action leads to success, and success strengthens belief. Another interesting point Schwartz makes is that just as negative thinking spreads negativity, a powerful belief inspires others. When you believe in yourself and your ideas, people start to take you seriously. You become a magnet. Opportunities, support, and inspiration naturally start coming your way. For example, if someone starts a business and says with confidence, I know this is going to work, people listen. They invest, they support. But if that same person says, let's see what happens, maybe it will work, others become uncertain too. Your belief influences your influence. So, before you start anything, check your belief. Ask yourself, do I truly believe I can do this? If the answer is no, then your first job is to rebuild your belief system. Train your mind every day with positive affirmations, inspiring stories, and small wins. The more proof you give yourself that you are capable, the stronger your belief will become. And remember, believing doesn't mean you will never fail. Everyone fails. The difference is that when you believe, you see failure not as an end, but as feedback. And that attitude gives you the courage to try again. So if you truly want to achieve something big, whether it's in your job, your relationships, your health, or a dream project, first, polish your belief. Remove the doubts and tell yourself, yes, I can. Because when you believe, you move, and when you move, the world starts to make way for you. Remember, it all starts with belief, and that start is the magic that becomes the first step toward your destination. If you've read this far, keep one small thought with you: believe big, think big, act big. Because small belief gives small results, and big belief changes your life. Now, let's address something we all do. Have you ever noticed that when we think about doing something big, the first things that come to our minds are excuses? We think, my health isn't good, I'm not smart enough, I'm too old, or I'm too young, or maybe even, my luck is just bad. Behind all these excuses hides our fear, our hesitation, and our habit of avoiding anything new. David J. Schwartz calls this epidemic excuse-itis. It's not a medical disease, but it is a mental disease that quietly kills a person's growth. Schwartz says that excuse-itis is the habit where a person always finds a reason for their failure or inaction. These excuses are so common that most people accept them without even noticing. The first excuse is poor health. Many people say, my health isn't good, I can't take risks, I can't do hard work. But Schwartz says there are thousands of people in the world who, despite having serious health issues, have achieved massive success. Think of Helen Keller. She couldn't see or hear, yet she became an inspiration to millions. If you stop wasting your energy on health excuses and focus on a little exercise, proper diet, and rest, your health will start to improve. Stop making health an excuse and make it a motivation: I will get fit and fulfill my dreams. The second excuse is a lack of intelligence. Many people think they can't succeed because they aren't born intelligent. But intelligence is more than just an IQ test. The smart person isn't the one who knows everything, the smart person is the one who knows how to learn. If you think you're not a genius, that's fine. Work hard, learn, try, and improve. Many of the world's greatest entrepreneurs and leaders were average students in school. The difference was they didn't make excuses, they took action. Schwartz says, remember, thinking is more important than raw intelligence. The power of thought, the attitude to learn, and consistent hard work are more valuable than any IQ. The third excuse is age. This is very common. Some say, my age is gone, and others say, I'm too young. But the reality is, there is no right age for success. Colonel Sanders started KFC in his 60s. And today, children are starting businesses at 15 or 16. Age is just a number. Your mindset is what really matters. If you believe your age can be a strength, it will be. Schwartz says you should feel proud of your age. Whether you are young and have energy, or older and have experience, both are advantages. The fourth, and perhaps the most dangerous excuse, is luck. People say, my luck is bad, or he was just lucky, that's why he won. Schwartz considers this the most dangerous excuse because it makes you feel powerless. When you start believing that luck is the reason for your success or failure, you stop taking action. Schwartz explains that successful people don't wait for luck. They work hard, they create opportunities, and when a chance comes, they are ready. You can't control luck, but preparation and attitude are in your control. And often, the people who are prepared are the ones who become lucky. Now, if you believe in any of these excuses, health, intelligence, age, or luck, can you really achieve something big? No. Schwartz says that every time you give an excuse, you push your growth 10 steps back. Making excuses gives you nothing, no respect, no results, no happiness. Making excuses is a comfortable zone, but it's a zone that makes you average. So, if you truly want to do something big in life, first identify your excuses. Pay attention to when you make them. I don't have time, I'm afraid, I don't have money. Ask yourself, is this a real reason or just an excuse? Whenever an excuse comes to your mind, challenge it. Question it. Think, if this same situation happened to someone else, would they give up or do something? Then ask another question, what can I do without this excuse? The best way out of excuse-itis is action. Action is the opposite of an excuse. When you take action, your excuses start to fade. For example, if you say you don't have a skill, the action is to start learning that skill. If the excuse is that you don't have time, the action is to look at your schedule, remove unimportant tasks, and make time. Breaking free from excuse-itis is a matter of habit. In the beginning, your mind will create excuses again and again, but every time you reject an excuse and take action, you will feel a new energy. Gradually, you will feel that you have risen above your excuses, and that is where your real growth begins. A life full of excuses gives you only regret. But a life of action gives you satisfaction, pride, and success. Schwartz is not saying there won't be problems. Problems happen to everyone. The difference is that some people make those problems their excuses, and some people make them their reasons to become stronger. So if you truly think big, shut down that voice inside you that says, you can't do it, you have this and that missing. Replace it with a new voice, I will do it, no matter what the situation. Because in the end, life rewards those who don't make excuses but take action. So stop excusing, and start doing. That is Schwartz's direct and powerful message. Sometimes, we all feel like we don't have what it takes. We don't have the confidence that we see in others. We see someone speaking confidently on stage, or interacting openly with people, or making decisions with ease, and we just stand back and think, I wish I could do that. But the truth is, confidence is not a gift you are born with. It is a skill that you develop gradually with practice. Schwartz explains that confidence grows when we face our fears. Running away from fear makes it bigger, but when you look it in the eye and stand firm, the fear itself starts to shrink. Every time you face a fear, your confidence goes up a level. Schwartz emphasizes this again and again, the best way to fight fear is with action. The more action you take, the more confidence you will gain. Think back to the child learning to ride a bike. He is afraid of falling and getting hurt. But as he practices, he starts to move a little, falls, gets up, and just like that, his confidence begins to grow. The same principle applies to every area of our lives. Whether it's public speaking, meeting new people, or making a big decision, confidence won't come until you try. Schwartz gives a simple technique: take small actions in your daily life that are outside your comfort zone. It could be saying hello to a stranger with a confident smile, or expressing your ideas clearly and confidently in a meeting. When you do these things, you send your brain a signal that you are capable, that you can act despite the fear. This habit builds your confidence. Schwartz shares a fascinating thought: act confident, and you will feel confident. This doesn't mean you have to be fake. It means you should not express your fear, instead, move forward in spite of it. When you maintain confident body language, standing straight, making eye contact, speaking with a clear, steady voice, people will see you as confident, and slowly, your brain will start to believe it too. Schwartz also suggests using positive self-talk. Tell yourself, I can do this, I am bigger than my fear, I can speak, I am here to learn, not to fail. These small affirmations reprogram your brain. Negative self-talk like I can't do this, what will people think, I am small, slowly eats away at your confidence from the inside. So replace it with positive self-talk. Another way to build confidence is through knowledge and preparation. When you don't feel confident about a topic, the first step is to understand it thoroughly. The more prepared you are, the more confident you will feel. Schwartz also talks about a very powerful technique, visualization. Imagine yourself doing the task with confidence. For example, if you have to speak at an event, visualize yourself standing on stage, speaking calmly, with people listening attentively, and you feeling confident. Visualization gives your brain a positive memory, and when the actual moment comes, your brain recalls that image, boosting your confidence. Schwartz also points out a common mistake: we compare ourselves to others and then feel less of ourselves. When we see a confident person, we think they were born confident and that we could never be like them. But this is wrong. We are all different, and we all have an equal capacity to develop confidence. You should not compare yourself to others, you should compare yourself to who you were yesterday. Are you getting better? That is the true measure. The journey of confidence is never smooth. Sometimes you will feel nervous, and sometimes you will fail. But Schwartz says, falling is not failing. Failing to try is. When you fall and get back up, both your strength and your confidence grow even more. So don't give up. Keep practicing. Take small steps. And slowly, you will learn to believe in yourself. Now, imagine for a moment how your life would be if you had complete faith in yourself. If you could speak in meetings without fear, if you could answer interview questions confidently, if you could boldly share your ideas. This is all possible, and it depends only on your action. Confidence is not a luxury, it is a necessity, and every person has the capacity to fulfill this need. The only difference is that some people take action in the face of fear, and some people hide behind excuses. Schwartz's message is clear: face your fear, speak up, take risks, and watch your confidence soar. So the next time you feel you lack confidence, just remember that confidence isn't something you have to bring from outside. It is already inside you. You just need a little courage, a little action, and a little time to bring it out. And if you are ready to give those three things, then no one can stop you from becoming confident and, ultimately, successful. Every person wants their life to have something big, something meaningful, something they can be proud of. But often, people think that only the lucky ones can do great things. This is simply not true. Schwartz says something very powerful: if you want more, you first have to think more. This is the beginning of goal setting and vision. Until you think about what you want and how you want it, achieving something big is almost impossible. When we set small goals, we limit ourselves to a small scale. But when we set big goals, our mind automatically expands. Schwartz compares the mind to a muscle. The more you stretch it, the more it grows. When you set bold and ambitious goals, your mind starts finding ways to achieve them. Goal setting is not just a formal process where you write points in a notebook and forget them. It is a deeply emotional process where you clearly define your desires, your capabilities, and the direction of your life. And when you have this clarity, taking action becomes much easier. Schwartz says the first step of goal setting is visualization. Create a picture in your mind that what you want has already become reality. Imagine you are doing the job you love. Your business is growing. Your family is happy and you feel confident and satisfied. This is not a fantasy, this is a vision. When you vividly imagine something, down to the smallest details, your mind starts taking action to turn that imagination into reality. While visualizing, just seeing the image is not enough. You have to feel it too. Feel the joy of that moment, the pride of that success, the internal satisfaction. Imagine all of it. When you repeatedly see and feel a goal in your mind, it starts to settle into your subconscious mind, and this is where the real magic begins. Your subconscious mind pushes you toward that goal. But thinking and imagining alone are not enough. Schwartz clearly states that to turn a vision into reality, you need a concrete plan, a plan that is practical, time-bound, and that you can work on a little bit every day. When you make this plan, you divide your big goal into small, actionable steps. For example, if your goal is to become an author, your first step might be to write 500 words a day. Then, complete a chapter in a month, and then have a first draft ready in 3 months. After completing each small step, you get a sense of achievement, which boosts your motivation. And as you make continuous progress, your confidence and momentum grow. Schwartz emphasizes that when you see your own progress, you stop being afraid of big goals and start feeling excited. Many people don't set goals because they think, how can I achieve something so big? I don't have time, resources, or experience. But Schwartz reminds us that any big goal only becomes possible when you dare to think of it. If you only look at your current situation to decide what you can do, you will never grow. The meaning of a vision is to look beyond your current reality and see what you can become. Schwartz doesn't just link goal setting to personal achievement, he links it to a larger life purpose. When your goals are not just about making money or becoming famous, but are connected to a meaningful purpose, their power becomes even greater. For example, if your goal is to bring positive change to the lives of others, your motivation will be much deeper. Another important point Schwartz makes is to write down your goals clearly. When you put your goals on paper, they move from being vague thoughts to real commitments. And when you read them every day, they constantly remind you of what direction your life is going in. Many successful people follow this habit. They review their goals daily, revise them, and track their progress. Sometimes, you will be working on a goal and you'll face a setback, a failure, a rejection, a delay. Schwartz says setbacks will come, but they don't define where you will end up. A setback doesn't mean your goal was wrong, it just means you need to adjust a little and become a bit stronger. If your vision is strong, no obstacle can stop you. Schwartz also suggests talking about your goals with others, especially those who support you. When you share your vision, you get 2 benefits. First, you gain more clarity, and second, you start feeling accountable. Sometimes, a single conversation can change your entire mindset. When you set goals, there is one more crucial thing: patience. Many times, we want quick results, but Schwartz reminds us that big things take time. You have to stay consistent with your plan, celebrate the small victories, and keep faith in your vision. He says that big success is the sum of small successes, day after day. Ultimately, goal setting and vision are not just theoretical concepts. They are the compass that gives direction to your life. When you have a clear vision, you stay away from distractions, you invest your energy in the right place, and you slowly unlock your potential. So the question is not, can I do it? The question is, what do I want to do, and am I ready for it? Schwartz's message is simple: think big, visualize clearly, plan smartly, and take action daily. Then watch how your life changes from a dream to a reality. Every person has a unique way of thinking, a different perspective on the world. But what happens is that from childhood to adulthood, we are molded into a single way of thinking. We learn what society teaches, what school teaches, what people say: this is how it is, this is the right way, don't take risks, play it safe. Slowly, our thinking becomes boxed in, and we fall into the trap of traditional thinking. Schwartz says that if you want to achieve something great, you need to break traditional thought patterns and learn to think creatively and dream boldly. Creative thinking means seeing things differently, finding new methods, and not blindly following old rules. It means asking yourself questions like, is this the best way? Could there be something better? When we start to challenge everything, ideas, routines, systems, that is when real creativity begins. Schwartz says that behind every big business, every major invention, and every success story, there is a creative thought that people adopted when everyone else said it couldn't be done. Many of us think creative thinking is a quality reserved for special people like artists, designers, or inventors. But the truth is, every person has creativity. You just need to activate it, and that happens when you consciously open your mind to new ideas, new possibilities, and most importantly, without the fear of failure. Schwartz says, don't let fear get in the way of creativity. The fear of failure blocks your imagination. So if you want to think creatively, you have to learn that failure is not an end, but a part of growth. Have you ever noticed how little children think and imagine anything without hesitation? For them, there are no limits. A pen can be a rocket, a sheet can be a superhero's cape. They haven't yet learned what is possible and what is not. That is pure creativity. But as we grow, society teaches us to be practical, not to dream, and to think logically. Slowly, our creativity gets suppressed. Schwartz talks about breaking this conditioning. We need to redevelop that habit children have, freely imagining and daring to think openly. In business, if you only do what everyone else is doing, you will never stand out. Every successful entrepreneur thought of something new, tried something new, and then found success. Schwartz says that if you want to advance in your business or career, you need to develop the habit of thinking of a new way to look at your work daily. Ask yourself, can I make this better? Is there another method that would be more effective? These questions get you out of a routine and lead you to innovation. Creative thinking is equally important in relationships. Often, we let our relationships, whether with family, friends, or a partner, fall into a pattern. The same conversations, the same fights, the same misunderstandings. Schwartz suggests that if you want your relationships to be strong and exciting, you have to think creatively. Surprise someone, understand a problem from a different perspective, adopt a new way to resolve a conflict. This is all part of your emotional intelligence and creativity. Creativity also plays a huge role in life planning. Many people just follow a single template: study, get a job, get married, pay the Emmy, and pass the time. Schwartz talks about questioning this cycle. Is this your dream life, or do you want something different? If you want to design your life like an architect designs a dream building, you need creativity. Creative thinking gives you the courage to ask yourself, if there were no limits, what would I want to do? Could I change my job to make it exciting? Could I create a lifestyle that matches my values and desires? Another important thing Schwartz mentions is that for creative thinking, you need to maintain curiosity. Take an interest in everything, meet new people, read on different topics, observe. When you give your brain new inputs, it naturally generates new ideas. Creativity never comes to an empty mind, it needs fuel, and that fuel is curiosity, exploration, and experimentation. If you want your thinking and dreaming to be creative, you have to let go of the "I already know enough" attitude. When you assume you know everything, you stop learning. Schwartz says the most successful and creative people are always learning. They listen to new perspectives, challenge their own views, and create better versions of themselves. A creative mind always thinks like a learner. In creative dreaming, visualization is also key. Schwartz says that when you clearly visualize your dreams, they come closer to reality. But even in that visualization, you need creativity. Imagine what your life would look like if you could follow your ideas fearlessly. Where would you be? What would you be doing? How would you feel? These images fill you with excitement and energy, pushing you toward action. Now, the question is, how do we bring creative thinking into our daily lives? Schwartz gives some practical steps. First, step out of your comfort zone. Do something you've never done before. Read on a new topic. Talk to a new person. Go to a new place. Second, see every problem as an opportunity, a chance to think of something new and try it. Third, make brainstorming a habit. Every day, sit down with your goals or problems and think of 5 to 10 ideas, even if they seem silly. Fourth, before you reject someone else's idea, try to understand it, because inspiration often comes from where we least expect it. The true beauty of creative thinking and dreaming is that it leads you from limitation to liberation. Schwartz says the world remembers only those who thought differently, dreamed boldly, and followed untraditional paths. And people become that way through practice, courage, and most importantly, the belief that they can do something different. So, if you want your life to be more than just survival, but a creative expression of who you are, ask yourself these questions today. Am I just doing what everyone else is doing? Am I freely exploring my imagination? Am I looking at my dreams from a new perspective? When you start answering these questions honestly, you will truly begin to think creatively and dream big, and that is where the journey to an extraordinary life begins. Thank you for joining us today. This has been your book summary on Wise Pages. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the magic of thinking big, we would love for you to subscribe to our channel and join our community of learners and dreamers.